Hello friends, welcome back. In last lecture, we have studied objectives of testing textile materials. The textile materials like fiber, yarn, fabric, etc. is required to be tested for selection of raw material, control of process, developing existing process, for testing the product before we pack it, for specification test and for research purpose. After understanding significance of testing the textile material, let us move to the first unit from your curriculum, that is longitudinal and transverse dimensions of fiber. Today we are going to start with longitudinal dimension of the fiber. So, the learning objectives of this session are to understand concept of fiber length, to understand technical significance of fiber length, to learn methods to measure length of the fiber. Let us start. What exactly is length of the fiber? Length of the fiber is a longitudinal dimension and it is distance between two ends of the fiber. Very similar to a chalk. If I ask you to report about the dimensions of a given chalk, then you can have two dimensions for the chalk. It is one which is in longitudinal direction. You can measure distance between two ends of the chalk and you will report it as length of the chalk. You can have measurement of diameter of chalk and you will report it as transverse dimension of the chalk. In the same way, if you measure distance between the two ends of the fiber, it is called as length of the fiber. Now, unlike a chalk, if you consider textile fibers, we may have to handle different types of fibers. Here I have shown three different examples like polyester staple fibers, cotton fibers and wool fibers. As far as polyester staple fibers are concerned, here you can see all the fibers are cut to a specific length, right? So, if we need to measure length of the fibers, we can have few fibers out of it. At random, you can select few fibers, measure length of the fibers, that is measure distance between the two ends of the fiber, find out average and you can report the average as length of the given sample as far as this example is concerned. When it comes to cotton or wool fiber, both of these fibers are natural fibers. We have to accept variation. These two fibers, they contain lot of variation. Even if you collect fibers from a single seed of cotton, you will get variation. You will find variation in length of the fiber. You may find short fibers, medium length fiber, long fiber, longest length fiber. And therefore, if you include all variation from the population, prepare sample and measure length of the fibers there in the sample, if you find out average of this, then it is of no use. Same has been shown over here. As far as man-made fibers are concerned, cut to a specific length, here I have shown man-made fibers cut to specific length. Now if I ask you to measure length of these fibers, you can collect few out of these and then randomly of course, and then you can measure length of each and every fiber. You can measure distance between the two ends of the fiber and you can find out average and you can report length of the fiber, length of the sample as average length of the fiber. So this is true in case of man-made staple fibers. When it comes to natural fibers, say for example, cotton fiber. In this sample, you may find different fibers they differ in terms of length. So you may have shortest length, short, medium length fibers, and you may even find longest length fibers. Now, if we have to report about length of the fiber, then if you report using average length, it will be wrong. No doubt for man-made it is correct, but for cotton fiber it may go wrong. Because you are going to use this length result of the test for setting the rollers. Unless and until you set the roller correctly, it is not possible to get good quality yarn. And we are setting the rollers. You might have studied in spinning subject that we have to set the rollers based on length of the fiber. Now let us assume that you have measured average length and you have set the rollers. As far as roller drafting system is concerned, we don't have any positive control on each and every fiber. Assume you are setting your roller based on average length. Then in that case, you are not going to have any control on longer or longest length fibers. Those may grip at a time between the two drafting rollers. There may be change in extensibility of the fiber and at the extreme there may be breakage of few fibers. And hence it is not at all advisable to use this mean length for setting the rollers. So average length is of no use as far as cotton is concerned. So how to interpret the length of the cotton fiber, which contain lot of variations. Earlier, when there were no instruments available for testing, people used to refer the term called as staple length. Staple length is defined as distance between the limits in a tuft prepared by hand stapling where there are reasonably well-defined edges. That is, where the density of the tuft changes more rapidly. Before we discuss about this staple length, let me show you a video wherein I have shown how to prepare this tuft and how to measure staple length. Hello friends, in this video we are going to learn estimation of fiber length in terms of staple length. Here is a sample which has been selected from different zones of the population to include all the variations. So, the very first step in this hand stapling method to estimate staple length is you have to make the fibers straight and parallel. You have to mix all the types of fibers, that is short length, medium length and long length fiber. Now after you make the fibers straight and parallel, just hold the tuft in one hand and now start removing the ungripped fibers from other side. This is how you can remove all ungripped fibers from this side. Now you can hold this side and start removing the fibers from this side. So in this way you can remove all ungripped fibers from this side also. Right? Once again we'll repeat the procedure. After you remove the ungripped fibers, just keep the tuft on black velvet pad. Now here is a prepared tuft. After you make the fiber straight and parallel, after you remove all ungripped fibers from both the sides, this is how the tuft will be. Now you have to draw two imaginary lines with this tuft. Here this is one imaginary line where you can draw, and second imaginary line is over here. Right? So almost at this place. Now these are the two lines you can draw, imaginary lines you can draw. Now what is peculiarity of these two lines? As you can see here, there is sudden reduction in number of fibers, density of the fibers. Up to this point there are more number of fibers, and from this point onwards there are very less number of fibers, right? So staple length is distance between these two imaginary lines. Using a scale, you can use a scale and you can record length of the fiber. Now here it is 2.9. 2.9 centimeter or 29 mm is the staple length of this given sample. This is called as staple length. The technique is basically known as hand stapling method. Thank you. So, as shown in the video, the arrangement of the fiber is something like this. Let me show actual arrangement of the fibers in the tuft. These are the longest length fibers which can't be removed from both the sides while we make the fibers straight. So these fibers are longest length fibers. Now there may be few medium length fibers. They may rest here in this region, right? While the short fibers, those will remain here, this way. So what I have shown here only three kinds of fibers. Now what exactly used to happen is, here at center you are going to get more number of fibers. The density of the fiber decreases when short fiber ends. It again decreases when medium length fiber ends. And we are going to measure distance between almost these 2 points where there is sudden reduction in number of fibers and which is visible. So this distance is technically called as staple length of the fiber. Is this clear? All of you, is this clear? Okay, fine. No doubt earlier there were no instruments available for testing, and therefore people used to go by this staple length for setting the rollers. But nowadays everyone is demanding the quality of product. As far as this staple length is concerned, it has few drawbacks. Can you just guess what may be the drawbacks of this staple length? Try to write the drawbacks in your notebook. Okay, fine. The first drawback of this staple length is personal error. Since it is manual method, there may be chance of error while you measure length of the fiber. If I give you cotton fibers and ask you to measure staple length, then different groups will get different results. So, a skilled person is required to measure staple length of the fiber. Considering the drawback of this staple length, and since we can use instruments in today's era, we can have accurate estimation of length of fibers. We'll be discussing these methods in detail, but before we study those methods, let us discuss why it is essential to measure length of the fiber. Length of the fiber decides spinability. What is spinability? Spinability is ability to spin, just to elaborate. But complete definition of spinability is ability of spin the fibers to a specific count, to a finest count rather, with specific yarn quality and with ease of process. Let me repeat again. Spinability takes care of three things: the count, quality and process performance. When you combine these three factors together, spinability is defined as ability of fibers to spin to finest count with specific yarn quality with ease of spinning. Now when you say specific yarn quality, you should take care of these yarn parameters: strength of yarn, uniformity of yarn, hairiness and twist, because these are the most important quality parameters of yarn. So when you are selecting fibers, when you are selecting raw material for spinning, you have to think of the spinability of the fiber. And length of fiber affects spinability, spinning performance. It decides the count to be spun from the given variety. You can predict about quality of yarn with the length of the fiber. You can set your process based on this parameter. So let us discuss this in detail. Count to be spun. The first factor which is decided by length of the fiber. Here I have shown one example. Let us assume we want to spin 20s count. There are two different varieties with us. One is long staple and second is short staple. This is long staple variety. This is short staple variety. We want to spin 20s count yarn. Now here, when you use long length fibers for spinning 20s count, the picture will be something like this, which I have shown over here. Isn't it? Now if you use short length fibers for spinning same count, for spinning 20s count, the picture is like this. Now here what we have assumed, fineness of fiber is same for both. Now if you are going to take same fineness, then there won't be any change in number of fibers in cross section. What is going to change is this overlapping area, which I have shown by this bracket. Now here in this case, with longer fibers, you are going to get more area, while the overlapping area is less in case of the short fibers. So you can spin the yarn 20s count yarn with both the types of fibers. But now let us assume you have an order of 60s count. Now what is going to change is the cross section of yarn. With same fineness, number of fibers in cross section will be reduced. Compared to this, here number of fibers are less. Here you have less number of fibers and contact area is this much. While here the area is this much and even you have less number of fibers. Now if you try to apply load here in this direction, then with 60s count, with less number of fibers, with less contact area, they just start slipping. Ultimately, you are going to get less strength in this case. In case of 20s yarn, though the area of contact is less here, but then it is compensated by number of fibers in cross section. Hence, what we can do is, in first case, you can use both these materials for spinning 20s count. But then the process may not become economical with longer length fibers. If you use long length fibers for 20s count, you have to pay more for the raw material. Ultimately, the process may not become economical. As far as 60s count is concerned, here you have to use longer length fibers for 60s. If you use short fibers for spinning 60s count, nobody is going to accept the quality of yarn. So in general, what we can say, longer fibers have to be reserved for spinning fine counts. Short fibers are to be used for spinning coarser counts. See once again, if we have long length and short length fibers, then we have to use longer length fibers for spinning finer counts, while we can use short length fibers for spinning coarser counts. Mainly because in case of short fibers, we get less overlapping area, because of which interfiber friction reduces. And with same number of fibers in cross section, we may get lower strength to the strand. As far as coarse count is concerned, this effect is compensated by number of fibers in cross section. But when you move towards finer counts, they have less number of fibers in cross section. So if you use short fibers for spinning fine counts, then you won't get enough interfiber friction because of both less area of contact and less number of fibers in cross section. And hence, if you apply even small load, the fibers start slipping. Hence, for spinning finer counts, we cannot use short fibers. This is how fiber length decides spinability in terms of count to be spun. Short fibers, keep them for spinning coarser counts, while longer length fibers has to be reserved for spinning finer counts. Under spinability, the second factor is quality of yarn. Quality of yarn is decided by its strength, uniformity, twist and hairiness. In first picture, if you just concentrate over here, as has been discussed in previous slide, if we have to spin specific count, so I have shown here same diameter. If you use longer length fiber, you will get good strength. If you use short length fiber, you are going to get lower strength ultimately because of less overlapping area, less interfiber friction. So strength of the yarn is decided by length of the fiber. Longer length fiber gives you stronger yarn. The second is uniformity. If you look at this picture, here we have spun same yarn. In one case, longer length fibers are used, while in second, short length fibers are used. Now, while you convert fibers into yarn, you have to twist them, you have to turn them into an assembly. Now, while you convert them into an assembly, you have to join them, right? Now, if you take longer length fibers, then the joining area is over here. For given length of yarn, this is, let me explain. So over here, when you manufacture cotton yarn using longer length fibers, while you convert these fibers into yarn, you have to join them over here, right? Well, same if you are going to use short length fibers, then for given length of yarn, this is given length of yarn. For given length of yarn, here you have to have joints at 3 different places. Whereas in this case, there is only one. And you know that wherever we introduce joints, we have to accept the variation. Ultimately, if you use long length fibers, you can produce uniform strand. Instead, if you use short length fibers, you have to accept some irregularity in the yarn. Third parameter of yarn is twist. Here, again same has been shown. If we have two different yarns spun, first spun with longer length fibers, second with short length fibers. Now suppose with this example, we want X gram. Here I have written equal strength. Let us assume that we want X gram strength. Now with this X gram strength, since we have here longer length fiber, you can turn them through specific angle, that is called as twisting. So you can get proper interfiber or required interfiber friction just by turning through lesser angle, isn't it? But if you want to get same strength with short fibers where there is less overlapping area, as has been discussed in previous slide, here you have to turn them through more angle. So what we can say, we require more amount of twist to be given in yarn with short fibers, which is less in case of longer length fibers. Now how you can take advantage of this effect? Let us assume that in your godown, two varieties are there. There is no much variation between the price of the cotton, and you have ordered from consumer say 40 count with X gram strength. Then you can use longer length fibers, and since you need X gram strength, you can apply or you can twist the material through lower angle. And when you require lesser twist, then ultimately production of ring frame will increase. When there is increase in productivity, your process will become economical. You can earn more profit. Thus, twist level in yarn is decided by length of the fiber. The next property which is decided by length is hairiness. In this picture again same has been shown. Two yarns are there. The count of yarn is same. One is spun with longer length fiber and other with short length fibers. Now, what exactly is hairiness? Hairiness is number of protruding fibers from the body of yarn. Now tell me, if this is yarn, if this is fiber, this is another fiber. When you are going to join these two fibers, what is probability to come out of the yarn? Obviously over here at free ends, this end may come out. When you join them together, the condition is something like this. This may happen, isn't it? So here we may get hairiness. When it comes to short fiber, for given length of yarn, the condition is something like this. This is first fiber, second fiber, third fiber, fourth fiber, say fifth fiber. Now wherever fiber is ending in that region, you may get protruding fibers out of yarn body. So if you compare this and this situation, over here there are less number of fibers coming out of yarn body. But here you are going to get the probability of coming out of the yarn is more with short fibers. So what is result? We'll get hairy yarn, comparatively more hairy yarn with short fibers. This is how length of the fiber decides hairiness also. Let me repeat all the things again. Length of the fiber decides strength of yarn. If you take longer length fibers for a given count of yarn, then overlapping distance for given length of yarn increases, because of which interfiber friction increases and we get more strength. As far as uniformity is concerned, if we use longer length fibers, then number of joints for given length of yarn will be more with short length fibers. Hence, with introduction of more and more joints, short fibers will result into irregular yarn. Longer fiber requires less twist, because with longer length fibers, the overlapping area is more with given length of yarn. Thus already there exists certain friction, certain opposing force, and therefore to get x gram strength, we need to turn them through lower angle. Thus longer length fiber requires less twist, and added associated advantages will get in terms of productivity of ring frame or even softer feel of the yarn and fabric. Next is hairiness. Hairiness is also decided by length of the fiber. If we go on increasing length of the fiber, then for given length of yarn, number of fibers which are going to come out of the yarn will reduce. And when number of fibers coming out of the yarn are reducing, it means hairiness of yarn is less. This is how quality of yarn is decided by length of the fiber. Fiber length also affects spinning performance. We have to set the rollers based on length of the fiber. Let us assume you have two different varieties of cotton. One is 25 mm and second is 32 mm. Now if you are running the material 32 mm on your spinning line, if you move from 32 mm to 25 mm, then if you won't go for roller setting, change in roller setting, then what will happen? You may get more number of floating fibers, generation of more amount of floating fibers, which results in irregular yarn. We'll be discussing this in detail under the unit yarn evenness. So, it is required to set your rollers based on the length of the fiber. Second is speed. If you have longer length fibers and while you clean the material in blow room, while you go for individualization on carding machine, and if you go for higher speeds, then there may be chances of breakage of fibers, and hence you have to lower the speed in case of long length fibers. So speed of spinning is also governed by length of the fibers. Next is end breakage rate. End breakage rate, especially on ring frame, is governed by length of the fiber. You take same example, 25 mm and 32 mm cotton. If you won't change the setting from 32 to 25, then because of more floating fibers, there will be more breakages and your process will go out of control. Thus, spinning performance or the processing performance of the fiber is decided by length of the fiber. This is how, in general, spinability of the fiber is decided by length of the fiber. It decides count of yarn, it decides quality of yarn, it decides performance of process. So friends, today we have learned concept of fiber length and technical significance of length of the fiber. Fiber length is basically longitudinal dimension of fiber, which is in general measured in terms of distance between the two ends of the fiber. It is expressed in terms of average length, especially for man-made fibers, while for natural fibers, we used to express length of the fiber in terms of staple length. Few more terms like effective length, span length, we are going to discuss in next lecture. Length of the fiber is required to be tested because length of the fiber decides spinability. Fiber length also decides performance of spinning process. Here is an activity based on today's learning. Friends, you have to divide yourself into 6 groups as per your serial numbers. Like 1 to 7 will be there in first group, 8 to 14 will be in second group, third group will have 15 to 21, 22nd to 27th will be in fourth group, then 28 to 33 will be there in fifth and remaining will be there in sixth group. And here I have written activity to be done. Students from first group will record effect of fiber length on count to be spun. Group 2 will record effect of fiber length on strength of the yarn. 3 will go for uniformity of yarn. Fourth group will work on effect of fiber length on twist of yarn. Fifth will write about effect of fiber length on hairiness, while sixth will work on spinning performance. After you complete this activity, any one student from each group will explain effect of fiber length on particular property or the factor. Right? You can start writing now. You can complete this activity within 5 minutes. And after you complete the activity, we'll have discussion on the same.